Personal branding is more than just visuals and messaging. It's about owning your potential and putting yourself out there with absolute confidence. Those are the words from today's guest. Listen, we're excited to have you listening in to the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, where we're going to be talking about 3 ways to stand out from the masses online with Sandy Grigsby, personal branding image expert. Coming up right after this quick intro.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. And listen, I can prove it today. I got receipts today. We'll get into that. We're excited to have all of those that are joining us. Listen, 3 places in Facebook we're streaming, YouTube we're streaming, LinkedIn we're streaming, Twitter. Hey, how you doing? Certainly all those that check out the Sharvette Mitchell radio show on Blog Talk Radio, and those that catch the podcast version. Listen, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, y'all are always in the lead, but we can't leave out Stitcher and all those great places. We're excited to have you. Listen, this segment is brought to you by the 6th annual Pop-Up Conference for Female Entrepreneurs, hosted right here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Listen, register, grab your tickets, grab your tickets, get your seats. You can jump over to heygirlhey.biz, heygirlhey.biz. That'll give you the information. Oh, by the way, all of the full speakers have been announced on social media, but by tomorrow you will see the full speaker lineup on heygirlhey.biz and be able to download the conference app. So super excited about all of those great things that are taking place. So, this conversation about branding is certainly right up my alley. Some of you are brand spanking new to me. Again, I'm Sharvette Mitchell, the host of the show, but I also work with entrepreneurs around establishing their expertise with great visual branding, also gaining visibility with speaking opportunities, and setting their authority with a published book, and of course, converting more customers with content. And so certainly this topic today, 3 ways to stand out from the masses online, is right up my alley. So I see you all coming on in. Hey girl, hey, hanging out on YouTube. Kim, my sister, hey girl, hey, Betty, hanging out on Facebook. We are excited to see you. So let me tell you a little bit more about my guest as we jump right on in. She's hanging out in the virtual green room from the other side of the world. We're going to talk about that. Sandy Grigsby is a personal branding image expert, TEDx speaker, confidence catalyst, and the founder of Brio 5, a leading personal branding studio that focuses on entrepreneurs, executives, and industry leaders. As a highly sought after image specialist, Sandy has worked with celebrities, world leaders, industry experts from all across the globe. She guides people through a process of uncovering their own unique style, confidence, and self-worth to launch a powerful, authentic, and alluring personal brand. Coming up to the mic, live on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, Sandy Grigsby.
Hi, Sharvette. Thank you so much for having me here today.
We are so excited to have you now. Now we got to talk about where you are and what time it is. So let's give all the deets on that.
It is 6 a.m. I'm in Bali, Indonesia, right in Seminyak, which is the trendy part of Bali, I guess. There's the 2 big parts. So you've got Ubud, which everyone goes to Ubud when they come to Bali. It's like the quintessential Bali, spiritual, up in the jungle. I'm over by the beach, where once you've lived in Bali for a while, you leave Ubud and you come here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we got to talk about what got you to Bali.
That's the coolest part. Believe it or not, it had everything to do with me focusing on my personal brand.
Wow.
So my life was crazy in the past. I doubted myself. I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I was like 35 years old. I was making the wrong choices. I was completely a mess. And I realized I had to get my life in order. And the way that I did it was I stepped up and I took charge of my personal brand. And once I did that, I reclaimed my confidence. I designed my business better. I managed my business, my friendships, all of my relationships, the way that I showed up online, my presence, everything shifted for me. And all of a sudden, opportunities just came flooding my way. Wow. And my business took off. When I realized that it was going in a direction I didn't want it to go, I could just shift something in my personal brand and shift the whole business. So I had done full-time photography for the longest time. And it was primarily because I had shifted my personal brand. And it was doing really well. And then the whole pandemic hit and I couldn't photograph people in person. So I had switched to virtual, but that didn't work out for me as much because I'm one of those hands-on people. I like to touch your hair and move it, right?
Yeah.
So I went, how can I create a life that I love while still doing what I love? And then it hit me. I don't just do photography. I create transformation, and I can do that in so many ways. So I ended up coming up with a program to teach people how I create these beautiful, powerful transformations through photography in real life. And so they can create the life that they want. And it's exactly what I did. And it got me here in Bali. And now I live like a queen here in Bali. It's amazing.
Wow. O to the M to the G. If you're just tuning in, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell radio show. Sandy is just giving us the deets there. So now I know half of you at least that are listening want to fly to Bali, and you probably, want to look Sandy up. I'm going to let her deal with that. But I think what you just said was so profound. Sometimes people feel that the visual branding elements, such as photography, that's not that big of a deal. I don't really need that. What do you say to the person that may have that thought in their mind?
Here's how it is. Have you ever gone to, it's going to sound old school, but like a Barnes and Nobles or a bookstore? Even like Amazon has their bookstores. So they went online, but now they have real bookstores, right? Yeah. And you look at these beautiful books and you're looking for one on business. Which one do you pick? Do you pick the solid blue book that says, I will fix your business issues? Or do you pick the one with the hot chick who's dressed up to the nines with her hair afly and she's like, I made $1 million. I'm going to teach you how. Which one are you going to pick?
Most people we're going to go with the second one.
Exactly. Yeah. People are visual. It takes less than 30 milliseconds to decide if you're going to like someone, get to know someone, learn more about them, trust them. They did a study and they covered up the faces of people and all they saw were eyes, and people within 30 milliseconds decided if they liked or trusted that person just from their eyes. Wow. So imagine what happens if you walk into the room and visually you're not representing yourself properly, or you have a picture of yourself on the internet and it's blurry, it's grainy, it's dark. You look like you just rolled out of bed and not in a good way. No one's going to look at you and go, I want to hire that person. I want to work with that person. I want to trust that person. It's just not going to happen. It's the reality. It's the nature of the beast. We judge people like a book.
Ooh, listen, we're getting some witnesses coming in. Hey there, hey, from my Facebook group saying, I agree. Welcome, Lavonda, and all those we see you popping on in. And this is absolutely what I tell clients. In one of our programs, the Platform Builder program, we have a photo shoot embedded in it because I so strongly believe that visual branding, that component of your visual brand has to be there. But what have you found around the confidence? Because you talk a lot about confidence. What have you found when you've gotten, in particular, I found women in business in front of the camera. What happens with confidence?
It just disappears. It dissipates. It's gone. And a lot of that has to do with, so imagine like Sharvette. When you think of speaking on your podcast, you think of doing the business dealings that you do with people, how you teach people, how you educate people, you know what you're doing. You don't have to think about it. You walk into the room, you do it like boom, boom, boom. You know the answers, you know what questions to pose, to put forward. You know what you're doing. You're just confident in it. Yeah. But then you get thrown in a kitchen I don't know if you cook or not. I'm just guessing here. And
Little
someone
bit.
goes, you have to make a pavlova. What the heck is a pavlova? Right? And you're like, you're not confident in it. And it has to be 5 stars pavlova because it's going to win you a ticket to France. Your confidence is instantly gone, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what happens when people in business get in front of a camera. They know the business. They know it so well. They can talk about it night and day. Their confidence shines. They get in front of the camera and they have no idea what to do. They don't know what's going to look good. They don't want to look messy, sloppy. They don't want to have that stupid face that they know they make sometimes. They don't want the world to see that because it's their dark hidden secret, right? It's the one they delete out of their iPhone when they take those pictures, right? So it's all about the confidence is not there because you're not experienced at being in front of the camera. And most professional people aren't. Even I know celebrities who are in front of the camera all of the time and they still don't have confidence. So it's not just the experience, it's the mindset that you have to go in with when you're doing that.
Oh, that's so good. Mindset is so key. One tip, and actually we see you all coming on in. Welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're hanging out here with Sandy Grigsby. Listen, information right on the screen. But Sandy, while they're listening, how can they connect with you on social media?
Well, I hang out the most on Instagram. So you can follow me at Sandy in Focus. I'm on TikTok. I just started my new TikTok because I got locked out of my old one. Don't even go there. It's a long story. Point is, sandyinfocus.com on TikTok. And I am also active on Facebook and my website, sandyinfocus.com. That one's really easy. Sandy with a Y in focus, like a camera focus.com.
And once you're on her main website, if you scroll down, there are all the connection points. So if you didn't miss it, if you missed everything, Sandy in Focus. Yes, like when you focus a camera and all that, that will take you there. And we've tagged on Instagram, Facebook, and all the great things. And if you're hanging out at Sharvette.com, links are available right there. And if you're on the podcast listening in, links are available in the show notes. Okay, so and I definitely agree with you around the confidence. And what's interesting is that we will look at people, like you said, celebrities or industry leaders, and we think that they have 100% confidence in every area of their life. And in most cases, that is not the case.
It is not the case. I can tell you, I have worked, if I named dropped right now, the people that I've worked with that have low confidence, first of all, you all would know them. And you would be so floored. I just can't name drop them. I wish I could. But let's just say one of them is one of the most famous athletes in the world. You absolutely know this person. And if you knew that they had low confidence at times and in certain areas of their life, you'd be like, what? How? They're like a leader in the world. It happens to everyone.
It happens to everyone. So give yourself grace. Those that are listening, right? Give yourself grace. So let's jump into 3 ways to stand out from the masses online, because most of us are marketing online. Our businesses are online, whether we want it to be or not. And so people may feel like there's a lot of, I'm not going to say competition, but a lot of options. So let's get into some ways people can stand out.
Well, the first way kind of goes back to being in front of the camera. They tie in together. So it's figuring out what's unique about you and then showing it. So people might know what's unique about them, but then they don't tell anybody. They don't show it. They don't make it a representation of themselves. So what is unique about you? It could be the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you think. There's so many different things. It could be a talent you have, right? Yeah. But it's not just knowing what's unique. It's showing it. So have that photo session that boasts that thing that you're amazing at, that's unique about you. Be on camera talking about that unique thing. So many people hide in the shadows. They don't do videos. Right now on Instagram, the hottest thing are reels. I can't tell you how many people that are influencers that their influence has dropped because they won't do reels because they're not confident in doing reels. Reels are so easy. All you have to do
30 seconds or less, 60 seconds or less.
Yes. And guess what? The first one you do, it's going to suck. Not going to lie. It's going to be terrible. That's awesome. Because now you have the experience under your belt and you can just do the next one. And if you hate it, don't delete it. Leave it up there because it's so much fun to go 40 reels into the future and go, hey, did you guys see my first reel and how bad it was? Look how amazing this one is.
And it probably will get some of the highest views. I have found when I've recorded a reel and kind of hesitated to post it, I was like, I'm just going to post it. I don't feel like it'll be one of the ones that get the highest rating. Where versus the times where you take all the time and you make sure your eyelashes are right and the lighting is right. And you're like 200 views, like, you don't get
so true. You spend like 3 hours on a reel and it gets like 800 views when you usually average 3,000, and then you spend 2 seconds and it gets like 50,000 views. You're like, what?
Like what is going on? So show up and I love that with photography, as you mentioned, what's unique. And so it sounds like you probably do photography that is not just up against a white background.
No,
but a little bit more personality, right?
Yes. Well, actually, so I do both. When I do a session with my clients, first of all, our sessions are all day. I don't know what these photographers are doing when they're like, it's going to be a 60-minute session and I'm like, what? There's no way. I
will say my photographer does some magic, but
well, if you're really experienced in front of the camera, like you are, yes. Like I can go into a photo session and it's literally 30 minutes and I have everything I need because I know what I'm doing. I'm talking about people who have never been in front of the camera before. There's no way, right? Mm-hmm. So to coax them out, make them feel super confident, make them feel good, do the outfit changes, pamper them, make them feel like the divas or kings. Not going to be, I work with primarily women, but we got guys. It takes time. Yeah. So for me, I work all day and we do a variety of different looks. So we do against solid because I believe that having a solid backdrop is nice because guess what? You can cut the background out. It's not going to intertwine with your hair and do weird things. You can change the color. You can superimpose something else. So against solid is always important. But then I love to go out and shoot in, I like to say the wilds, wherever I'm at, city, a home, a beautiful garden, whatever, and then get some nice backdrops and stuff like that. So it's always different for me, but.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But the uniqueness comes from, like you, Sharvette. If you go to your Instagram or you go on your website, it's obvious what's unique about you. You love wearing these beautiful, bold colors, fun, playful jewelry. You've got this gorgeous hair and you've got this beautiful, radiant smile. It's really obvious. Like it's you stand out because you're showing you're not afraid to be bold and have expression. Some people aren't. They just hide. They don't wear anything that's exceptional because they don't want to be seen. So it's about figuring out what is unique about you. For me, my uniqueness, go figure, I make faces like this, right? Go watch my TikTok or my Instagram reels or my TikTok videos and you'll see I'm like, right? I make all these silly faces. It's unique about me. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I think it's funny, but my face has a lot of expression and I can't stop it. So like if people are with me or my photo sessions, I'm that girl that if I see something that's funny, I make a huge face and then I dance it out and everybody knows it and they all crack up and it relaxes them. So I said, I'm not going to hide that. I hid that on my social media for years. If you had looked at my social media before, everything was picture perfect. I barely smiled. I always looked sexy, right? Because I have to confess, I started out as a model. That's why I know how to pose people in front of the camera. I started modeling when I was 18 years old. I was living in San Francisco Bay Area. I grew up in Fremont, and I was that commercial print girl. I wasn't tall enough to be a runway model. I wasn't thin enough to be a runway model. I was just commercial print. So do you remember Macy's?
Yes.
I was the girl in the Macy's catalog. And do you remember Dee Dee's and Ross?
Ross, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, Dee Dee's is like the cheaper version of Ross. So I was the girl in the Ross magazines, like in ads and stuff. And the most famous one that people know me for is, do you remember the T-Mobile Sidekick phone? It was the first phone in like 2005 that flipped, and you had a keyboard. Everyone was like, remember that? They called me Sidekick Sandy at T-Mobile because I was the girl in the box. And I was the girl on a bunch of different T-Mobile phones. And I was on television. I got my SAG from that. Whole bunch of stuff from that. So that's where people really know me from. But since I modeled, I learned firsthand how to pose, how to look great in front of the camera, right? And then because I have a background in graphic design and visual communications, I would look at what these photographers would take of me and I would see them in magazines and stuff. And I would go, okay, why did they pick that image? It's a great image. Well, let me figure it out. And I started to learn. Then when I started working with photography clients, I would use the techniques that I was taught during photo sessions, like I remembered, okay, tip your chin this way, put your face that way, stand like this, give curves like that. And I would teach that to my clients so that they could get better results.
Wow.
So
amazing.
for me, if you looked at my past pictures and you looked at my past stuff that I was posting on social media, this is like as little as like 7 years ago, everything was like that modeling. Right? There was no personality. If you go on my website, sandyandfocus.com, I actually give a timeline where you can see where I was at in 2012 versus now.
Oh, wow.
Huge difference. 2012, I had gorgeous pictures, don't get me wrong, because they were modeling shots, but no connection. People looked at them, didn't want to hire me, didn't want to work with me. I just looked like that picture perfect beauty, like model girl who probably has no brains and has no personality.
Right.
And then when they got to know me, they're like, you're not at all what I had expected. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, you're way more fun. Like you seem really uptight in your picture. I'm like, what? So then I created a transformation. I worked on my personal branding. I started showing what's unique about me, my goofy faces, my personality. And guess what?
People connect. People connect. Yeah. And, you know, I say all the time, do you remember Glamour Shots? I don't know if they still do them.
Yeah, I have a Glamour Shot. I'm sure I could find it and show it to you. It's so embarrassing.
So, you know, I say all the time to clients, you know, you don't want, for your branding, for your business, you don't want the Glamour Shot. You know, that's more maybe a fun, and there's some updated things that people are doing now with the different multi-personality shots, but you want your personality to come through. I know people are listening and probably thinking, how can I work with Sandy? What are options that people can work with you?
The best way right now, and this one's actually super fun, and it starts tomorrow. So let's see.
Oh,
what day is it for you right now? It's the 14th. I'm on the 15th.
It's
Tuesday. Thursday is when it starts. So it's the 16th. And I have a few more spaces available. I'm doing, it's like personal branding, we call it Reveal You. It's mentoring. And we open it up, and enrollment happens, but it's 12 weeks. So every 12 weeks, we start a new enrollment. But it is where they can work directly with me. We go through the confidence building and the personal branding. I am on group calls. I look at everything you've got. I give you my feedback and I guide you along the way. It's super powerful. And we've seen some incredible transformations. One of my students that went through it, ironically, was a guy, since I target women, but I get so many guys. But one of my students, he had 40 people on his Instagram, 40. And no images posted. There was like his profile picture and nothing else. And he had no business. And he was a professional opera singer. And when the pandemic hit, he had no business because the opera shut down. There was no one was going to take him. And he's got a famous voice. He actually was performing on soundtracks like Star Trek and stuff. Like he's singing, super famous.
Oh, wow.
But all of the industry shut down. He had no business. So he went through my program. And by the end of it, he has thousands and thousands of followers on Clubhouse. He has almost 2,000 followers on Instagram. And this is really important. It's not the amount, it's the quality. So he has 2,000 real followers, not bots or anything like that, right?
Right.
And he's active on social media. And now he has a program that he's launched, and he charges over $1,000 per person entry into the program, and it's full. So he's making tens of thousands of dollars a month after going through my program.
All right. There are the results. There are the results right there. All right. So I think I stopped you on the first. You were sharing ways. I love that. You were sharing ways to stand out from the masses. So we shared one and you kind of comboed. Yeah. Yes. So let's talk about some more.
We've got a number 2, which is passion and presence. This one's really important. Passion and presence. What are you passionate about? What lights you up? If you're doing something that you hate, you're doing bookkeeping and you hate it, it's not going to light you up. So you're doing it to make money and you're marketing it on social media, but you really hate it. Your audience is going to see that, right? So what are you passionate about? So market yourself. So let's say you have to do bookkeeping. You don't have an option. Then it goes back to mindset. Okay, bookkeeping. I hate doing bookkeeping, but I have to do it. How can I change my mindset? I'm financially freeing people. I love financial freedom. Okay. I can do that. So now you're passionate about it. Then it ties in with presence. How are you showing up to allure people? Make them see that you're really passionate about financially freeing people, right? So what does that look like? It comes in how you carry yourself. Are you slouched? chin speaking really small? and are you not looking at the camera, not making eye contact? And this also goes in person. This isn't just online. When you meet someone, are you giving that wimpy handshake? Oh, hello. No, you have to have presence, which means stand up tall. Like the top of your head is going to outer space, right? Reach for the star. And then lift your chest. Ladies, this goes for you too. This is absolutely for men, but ladies, lift your chest, because when you lift your chest, it's power, right? Then relax your shoulders. No one wants your shoulders up here. If you're like this, it looks creepy, right? Hello, I'm here. I'm a robot. No, relax your shoulders. So your chest is high, your shoulders are relaxed, you're stretched to the sky. I like to stick out my butte, right? Because you stick out your butte, add some curves, and it just kind of gives you that little boost of confidence. And then this is the secret tip to presence and looking really amazing on camera, and it works in person and it works on stage. Stick your chin out like a turtle. Stick it out like a turtle.
Stick it out like a turtle.
Like that. I know it looks weird from the side, but from the front, watch this. When I'm not, I'm like this. Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk to you about personal branding. This sucks, right? Okay, watch. Hello, everyone. I'd like to talk to you today about personal branding and why it's important for you. See the difference?
Yes.
It's presence. It's you're coming forward. Your chin coming forward means I want to connect with you. I want to speak to you. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve you. That's the importance of coming forward, right? And then the elongating the spine and going towards the stars, keeping that chest high and relaxing those shoulders means I'm confident in what I'm going to tell you, but I'm chill about it. Not anxious or stressed out. I can't wait to share my knowledge because I'm going to help you. That's what it's all about.
Listen, Sandy, those that are listening to the podcast, let me tell you, you need to, if you are listening to the podcast, you need to go watch this on YouTube. You need to visually see this segment. You can't just listen to this segment. You're going to need to jump over to youtube.com/Sharvette and see this in person. I'm loving all of this. Okay, let me not interrupt you. I think the third tip, as we talk about 3 ways to stand out from the masses. If you just joined in, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell radio show. Gwen Finley, thank you for joining us. She said, awesome. She does a lot of speaking and on video and all that as well. Wonderful.
So she knows it. Watch the top speakers. Go on TED website, TED.com. Go look up my talk. It's a perfect example. You can find it on there. Go look at speakers, professional speakers. The best ones do exactly what I had described. The best ones. You'll see it. Look at talk show hosts. Look at news anchors. Look at anyone who is using public speaking as their main platform or forum. They're doing all the techniques I just taught you. It works. All right, I'm going to give you number 3. You ready?
Yes.
This one's really important, and a lot of people miss the mark on this. But the number 3 way to stand out from the masses is consistency in your message and how you show up online. That's like...
But right,
so obvious, but it's something that most people don't do. And it's not about being consistent. Like I have to be on Instagram doing a live every Monday at 12 o'clock. And then I have to post every single day. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Some people post once a week. Some people post once a month, but they're consistent. It's creating a pattern that your audience can recognize and making sure that they can find you. Consistency isn't just showing up. It's how you show up. So for example, if you are on Instagram and you have a beautiful photograph of yourself, it's well lit, you look radiant, your background is pink. And then people go to Facebook and it's a grainy picture. It's darkly, dimly lit. You're not wearing your branding colors. We can't see your face. The background is black. It's totally different. What's going to happen is when people are looking for you, they're looking for that consistency. They're looking for that marker that makes you recognizable.
Yes.
So if they go to your Instagram and they're familiar with you there, and then they go to Facebook and they can't find you because they're looking for that light, that pink bag. Let's say you have a pink background, bright image. And they get there because people are visual, remember? So they're not necessarily going to look at your name. They're going to look for the picture. It's the quick marker. And they go, I can't find her. Or they find the name, but then the picture doesn't match. They go, maybe this isn't the same person. Right. Or another one that's huge, the name. Oh, Sharvette, I can't even tell you. Okay, an example. Your name is Elizabeth. You go by Lisa. On Instagram, you're Lisa. So Lisa is happy. On Facebook, you're Elizabeth. Elizabeth is joyful. What? How is someone going to find you? And then on LinkedIn, you're Elizabeth Smith Jones is thrilled. Like a totally different name. No one's going to find you. And I know this sounds like obvious. Like, why would you put different? It happens all the time. I coach this with my students all the time. Wait, why is your name? I have one. I love her to death. Samantha on one, Sammy on another. How is anyone going to find you? Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, which one do you want to go by? Well, my name is Samantha. Well, which one do you want to go by? I like people to call me Sammy. Then you need to change it. It needs to be Sammy across all boards so people can find you.
Absolutely. And so what is so pivotal about this is that it is so simple that people miss it. And there are people who don't necessarily have a better product, don't necessarily have a better service, don't necessarily have transformations and get results more so than you. Is that they have been consistent versus your inconsistency. So that might be an ouch, that might be an amen, that might be an ouch or amen, but it is so true. There's some people who are just consistent.
And Sharvette, I want to take it one step further. It's not just consistency with your name and your picture. It's consistency with how you actually show up. So here's the deal. If you go stalk my Instagram, if you go stalk my website, and then you show up and meet me in person, I guarantee that if I'm sitting in a restaurant, we haven't personally met, and you've, like I said, you stalked me on my social media profiles, you walked in that restaurant, you wouldn't even take a second to be like, there's Sandy. Mm-hmm. There she is. She's wearing her colors. Her hair looks the same. I see the energy. That's her. You wouldn't be like, are you Sandy? You'd be like, Sandy! It's super obvious because I'm consistent. I'm consistent in the way I treat people. I'm consistent in the way I look. I'm consistent in the way I show up. You're going to know and expect it. Even my pajamas are my branding colors. Okay. Oh, there's continuity and consistency through everything.
Everything. And that is so important because in particular, if you're an expert, you're a speaker, you're an author, you're going to be seen in person. You cannot hide behind your online presence. And I remember one time, and those that listen and follow me, you've probably heard me talk about this, where I was going to a conference. I was a vendor at the conference, and there was a young lady on the flyer that I was really excited to meet. She looked bold and, just big hair, just kind of like my vibe. And I looked all day long. I didn't see her. And I was like, well, maybe she didn't show. Maybe she didn't come. Yeah. The last speaker of the day, the MC announces the person, and that person had been there all day, walking back in front of me. They were unrecognizable.
Oh my God.
Somebody I was literally looking for, I did not recognize. And my thought is at least put the same wig on that's in the picture. At least give us the same wig. You could just put the wig in the closet and save it for speaking engagements. But it's so true. It's so true.
It's so true. And you know what's interesting about that? So let's say your thing, your absolute thing is wearing different wigs.
Yeah.
That can actually make you recognizable. Think of Sia, right? She's known for wearing wigs. She wears those hot pink ones with the blunt cut. Sometimes they're blonde, they're different colors, but it's a unique thing about her that when she walks in, people are like, oh, it's black today. That's Sia. Like, it. So it's not that you can't be different or change. You just have to be consistent in how you show up. Like someone was saying to me, what about that guy? There's a guy, I can't think of his name. He is this influencer who always changes something. So for a year, he only wore business suits. Then for the next year, he wore something totally like clown suits. I don't know what it was, something totally different. But he was consistent. Yeah. So people recognize him because they know, okay, what's it this year? His consistency was the fact that he's always changing something year after year after year. So consistency doesn't mean you have to stick to one thing forever. It means set the pattern of who you're going to be, make it public, and then maintain that. So you could be, and this could be with your relationships, you could be consistently late. Right? But that's your thing. Everyone's going to expect it. Oh, we know she's consistently late. We know this person's going to be, 20 minutes late. She's very consistent about that. Now, if you show up 20 minutes early, you're going to throw everyone off. They're going to be so confused. They're not going to know what to expect. That's not consistent. So I'm saying just be consistent.
Be consistent. Oh my goodness. Dr. Jackie said consistency is with how I show up. That's right. Dr.
Yes.
Jackie also does speaking, grief recovery counseling. Thank you for being here. Our time is up. I've snuck and took a little bit extra time. So now what time is it in Bali now?
It's 6:35. The sun just came out. My dog is looking at me like, food, please.
AM listeners, AM. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Delmar Johnson. Great convo. Delmar is an HR specialist. So for small businesses, so you need that HR function, check out Delmar. Thank you, Brenda, for listening and being here as well, and all of those that are here. One last time, all the places people can connect with you and your 12-week course, that information.
Yes, sandyinfocus.com. I have an awesome quiz that they can take that teaches, it guides them through how far along they are in their personal brand. So if they're confident, or if their personal brand needs some help, or if it's on fire already. So you can go to confidencejam.com/quiz. Sandy in Focus also has the quiz there. You just got to scroll down a little bit, but confidencejam.com/quiz. Everything is on sandyinfocus.com or confidencejam.com.
All right. Well, it has been a pleasure chatting with you all across the other side of the world. And we are excited that you just dropped so many nuggets for our listeners. And we wish you much more continued success.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. That is a wrap. O to the M to the G. If you popped in, I see some of you saying, I got to catch the beginning. Yes, you'll be able to catch the replay. Thanks, my mom. She always supports the show. She said great information. And again, Sharvette.com is where we have the full bio, links for our guests today, Sandy, and all of our other guests. If you're listening to the iTunes, just look down in the show notes. You'll see the information there. And again, this segment was brought to you by the 6th Annual Pop-Up Conference for Women Entrepreneurs, Women in Business, happening in Richmond, Virginia. 4 Points by Sheraton, November 4th through the 6th. And you can register at heygirlhey.biz. Register at heygirlhey.biz. All speakers have been announced on social media. The speaker lineup, full lineup, you'll be able to visibly see on the website as of tomorrow. And the conference app is coming as well. We want to see you here in Richmond, Virginia. Again, thank you so much for popping in. Hey, Tina. Yes. We know you will be in the place. Thank you, Kimberly, my sister. Oh, listen, let me tell you, those that are listening, my mother and my sister, you're going to always have at least 2. I can guarantee 2 viewers and 2 listeners. My mother and my sister support me so much, and I appreciate them. All right. It is a wrap for the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're going to see you guys later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.